the map. Apparently, for some reason, there is not the overlay, which is always good fun. So, yeah, I do apologize. No overlay for game number 1 because I literally checked this earlier. And anyway, here we are.
Betrayal.
In the top left-hand side of the map. It's Clem.
And in the ye old bottom right, it's Goblin.
I feel so betrayed right now, the fact that there's no overlay. I literally launched up a game. I was like, oh, the overlay's on. We're good.
Streaming is a cruel mistress.
It is. It is. There are a lot worse things that can happen, though. Scene Switcher's working now, so that's really good. Found out.
Wolf says it was Scotland that introduced curling.
What?
Way off.
What is Scotland? Like, that's
base.
so odd. I mean, huh. Scotland and curling is not something that's usually associated.
Yeah, aren't they more golf? They're more golf. Golf and curling? Scotland, you've given us so much.
They've got the most exciting sports on their side.
Well, two major sports is not bad. Oh, so you're talking about the observer interface.
Yeah.
What the heck? Yeah, is that region based? Did you load it up in the Americas?
I'm pretty sure I loaded it up on Europe though. Maybe it's just not on for the observer because it's specific to the observer and the in-game.
Oh, yep, that's true. There's a different one for replay and observer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm quite sure I checked it, but
we'll get it back.
Exactly. It's not the end of the world. And the actual scene switcher is fixed. That was an odd bug. I've given the developer of the StarCraft 2 scene switcher a lot of grief. He's an amazing dev and like really responsive to his plugin. But this is like the second just obscure issue I've had with it. that like affected me and one other guy. Oh, look at this.
Hey! We're being sneaky back here with a bunker.
Okay, how good is this versus Protoss?
I don't think it's game ending. I think there's no way if this works it ends the game.
It's a pain, but is it like anything more than that? Like, is it even good? I don't know.
Stalker.
SCV should get in that bunker.
Yeah.
Oh, of course he does. This is Clem. He's young. He's fast.
And then the SCV is going to try to stay out here, get some repairing done. At least it denies mining at the natural base for a little bit. Which is good, but again, not huge.
Reaper's going to jump into the main base, runs into that stalker.
Whoa.
Big mistake from Clem. Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is actually horrible. Now he just had a useless bunker.
I mean, again, denied for a minute and a half.
Yeah, I mean...
Not great. He's still oversaturated at his main. Goblin, transfer.
Well, if you ask Alpha Star, is he really, though?
Alpha Star does what Alpha Star wants.
It does, and it seems to work out.
Sure does. Okay, so there we go. 2 base saturation here. Clem's running at the same thing. We've got 25 to 34 workers. Goblin has the lead because Chrono Boost is good. Trying to get some aggression up here, but that's enough Marines to handle the Adepts and the Stalker, especially with high ground, so Goblin is not going to march up there. The Shade checks for saturation on the natural, sees how many workers we're dealing with, and it's really not that many. Making one at a time here. Really? Yeah, Goblin playing with fire. You don't want to lose too much health on that Stalker. It's going to be bad for you in the long run. Looks like Clem is gearing up for a pretty standard Widowmine drop.
Yeah, he is. Goblin paying attention.
And a robotics facility getting started for Goblin down on the other side, as well as a third Nexus. That's a pretty early third considering what we saw in the early game here.
Yeah, this is just the standard Protoss macro build that Goblin's going for right here. Basically, it's just the 3-gate blink or 2-gate blink opening. He does have a... Yeah, just 2-gate blink opening into a third base. This is honestly like my favorite opening in the whole wide world. It gives you the Stalkers to defend harassment. This is probably the best macro build versus harassment for Protoss. Versus like big timing attacks, not so much, but Goblin on paper should have everything he needs to defend this Medivac drop. Let's check his natural. Nothing really, though, in position. How well is he going to react to this Widowmine drop? Mines are going in. Probes are being pulled. Okay.
Great pull. Fantastic pull. Nothing happens here. Great pull in the main. Does that Widowmine model look big to you? They look kind of chunky.
Maybe it's one of the new skins or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The chunky Widowmines?
Uh-huh. I mean, Widowmine's basically like, fine, we'll take 2 kills if that's all we're going to get.
Medivac. Oh, it's
nice
going down.
Blink. Nice blink. That was good.
Okay, this is a good cleanup for Goblin. He lost some mining time, but he did end up cleaning all that up. Minimal probe losses as well and everything, so looking, pretty good.
For 3 Widowmines to lose 3 probes is about as good as you can expect.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
Yeah, that was actually really darn good. Now, we have Goblin. He's going into charge behind this. Probably wants to be chrono boosting that out, because the way this works out is that you defend the harassment, but the Terran does have stimmed bio when you've really only got Blink Stalkers for a window. Now, we'll see what Clem's going to be able to get done with this window. Also scans, gets the Observer of Goblin.
Nice.
Yeah, in comes the Terran player here. He's got Stimpack finishing up, he's got +1 finishing up, and he's got Combat Shields finished up. So he's going to be able to give the Protoss a bit of grief, it would seem. However, Goblin's starting to fight this beforehand, which is definitely the right thing to do. Good force fields going down. He just needs to thin out the bio enough that it's not really that lethal number.
Woo! Blink dodge.
Beautiful blink dodge.
Dies anyway, but... Oh, now we have Medevac.
It did its job. It got the Widowmine.
It did. Yeah, Medevacs are now here. Clem was making me a little bit worried for attacking into this with Stim without any Medevacs at all, but finally got some at the front lines here. Going for a concussive shell, wrapping up at the moment. Charge is just about done, and that is, like you said, the big deal here against this bio.
Yeah, this isn't a bad spot here for Goblin, though. I think he's got charge done now. His Stalkers are going to have to fight this army, but with 1 or 2 more weapons that he should be able to hold, but he is losing some of his Stalkers. Got to dodge out those Widowmines expertly done. But yeah, the Terran player does get repelled.
Yeah, and really, this is just all Goblin needs to do here. He doesn't necessarily need to wipe out this army, but he does need to keep his bases alive, not lose any probes.
Is really nice for Goblin.
Killing Medevacs is game-changing for sure. Already lost 2. Losing another couple here would be just devastating, but he's able to safely pull back.
Yeah, Medivacs are pretty darn expensive, so Clem wants to keep those alive. We take a look here. When everything's tallied up right now, Goblin has held the attack. His third base, though, isn't very well saturated, and he's a little bit supply blocked right now. However, we take a look here. Clem, he's getting up his third base. He's producing everything on his own. The worker count, pretty darn close, actually. 52 to 58 isn't too bad for the Terran as far as numbers go.
Definitely not.
And upgrades as well. Goblin hasn't... That was one thing that was really notable. He did the pretty much standard defense, but he didn't have +1 with this. Doesn't have any upgrades now, and Clem has got his 1-1, so I'm a little bit concerned for our Protoss player right now.
Yeah, upgrades are massively important, especially for Protoss. It helps them so much. Attack upgrades especially are very good. Armor for Zealots just makes it so hard for Bio to burn them down. Robotics Bay on the way, not too surprised by that. We see a lot of Colossus play in PBT these days.
Oh, yeah.
Colossus doing exceptionally well against that bio, especially if you have about 3 of them. That seems to be the magic number Protoss go for.
Yeah. I personally, I think any amount of Colossus is amazing, but... let's take a look here. Goblin's going to be going in, but this seems a little bit suicidal, dare I say. I mean, he doesn't even have a Warp Prism with this army, and he's moved in with his entire force across the map. He does have force fields, so he can lock this army out for his retreat, but I feel like this is him being a little bit overextended. There's the Warp Prism, but man, this is ever aggressive from the Protoss player.
There's your extended thermal lance. Again, I feel like Colossus good, range Colossus much better.
Yes.
And in numbers much better too. Like 1 Colossus without extended thermal lance is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting conundrum, because at some point, the Protoss player gets enough Whoa. Goblin just like, was that his own stuff he was shooting or something? Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, at some point it feels like the Protoss wants to get enough Colossus or get like that magic number of 3 Colossus out, as you said, and that forces a definitive response to the Terran. But if they get 2, it's like, is it really worth it for the Terran to make a ton of Vikings? Anyway, a fight's going on right now. Enough of my yammering as we take a look here. The Colossus is trying to do what it can to this army, but there's so many Widow Mines here. The army has been EMP'd, and this Protoss force is kind of just melting to this superior Terran army, it would seem.
Yeah, army supplies basically...
The third is going to melt. This is looking real bad here for the Protoss player.
Yeah, this is going pretty well here for Clem, and bam! Woo! Nicely done. Terran fans, rejoice. That is a good game 1 for you guys. Yeah, that generally is how it seems to go for TvP in the current meta, is if you can kill your dude in the first 10, 11 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, you're going to be in a better spot. Before they get those multiple Colossus out, before Extended Thermal Lance is done, get some EMPs down.
Yeah.
Get some Widow Mine stuff happening, and you can make stuff happen with good positioning at a good micro, and that's what we saw. So nicely done by Clem, the young Terran player, getting it done. Going to move into Nightshade here for game number 2. Hey, what's up, Copenhagen DOS?
Apparently he's on the bus.
He's not, and yeah, no sound either.
On the bus to the airport.
Yeah, he is in the college band for the University of Utah.
Really?
One of their their football bowl game.
Wow. I hope you kill it.
Yeah, should be a good matchup. I think it's in Texas, if I remember right.
Yeah, so that game kind of went as expected a little bit. I mean, Clem just being the favorite with the really good execution. Whereas Goblin, maybe things weren't as tight as they could have been, like not having the +1. The move out was kind of odd and everything, and then just even his macro seemed to be disrupted a little bit too much, maybe, by that Widow Mine drop. Like, he didn't lose any probes, but it did take him a while to clean it up. He was out of position, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you combine that with the bunker that was denying mining for a couple minutes at the first of the game, too,
yeah,
kind of adds up to slowing it down a bit.
It does indeed.
Sometimes that's all it takes, honestly, is getting slowed down a bit when you're playing against
when you're at this level. Every little thing adds up.
Exactly.
So we have the overlay, and it is a best of 5. Spawning in the top left-hand side of the map. He's up 1-0. It's Clem.
And spawning in the bottom right. His name is Goblin. Love that name, by the way. I like Goblin.
The Hobgoblin.
Yeah. It's nice. It's clean. But yeah, it's kind of funny because sometimes you'll watch lower level players do stuff like a Reaper harass or throw down a bunker like that or go for a Widow Mine drop and then just get crushed anyway.
Yeah.
And they're mad about it because they're like, I did all this stuff the pro players do, and it's like, look, it's not just those things.
No, it's not.
There's 100 million things you have to do otherwise, and if the other person's playing that well too, then yes, it can make a difference, but
usually it's just
not
macro.
Solely about the harass. Exactly.
You can do all the fancy things in the world, all the cool harassment, micro your heart out, go for nuts drops, but if you don't macro behind it, things can easily slip away. Oh, what is Goblin doing? He queued up a pylon right there for a second. That was interesting. Just Goblin things.
Yeah, exactly. Experimenting live. Thought about throwing up a forward pylon?
To be fair, I think he does that a fair bit. Experiments live. Goblin is one of the players who's just like, I'll see what I'm going to bring out today. He also, I know Rotterdam has talked a lot about his like attitude towards actually just like playing the game. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'll show up, I'll play some StarCraft, and I don't practice or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
And that's Goblin.
I guess for a second there was an option to go for like a Max Packs build.
Oh man, Max Packs. I wish I'd see more of it.
I think Terrans have figured it out.
Did they? I see. That's the thing. Like, it came out and everyone's like, it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
And then Terrans like kind of figured out a way to stop it, but I never saw any games of a Terran stopping it, so I don't know how.
Me neither. And that is, I agree with you. That is the weird thing. It totally disappeared fast.
Yeah.
And like usually if there's an overpowered strategy, it takes people some time to figure out how to stop. It lingers for a while. Like the 4-gate. The 4-gate was the first really, really overpowered strategy in StarCraft back in Wings of Liberty. It was really hard to stop. And then some guides were built and people figured out how to stop it. And even then, you would still see Protoss players going 4-gate from time to time. So the fact that Max Pax is totally gone, it's weird.
Next time I ladder as Protoss, I'm gonna do some 4-gating.
Yeah,
but it was a build from a game that I cast. It was a guy taking on Alpha Star. He was a Protoss player, and he literally just didn't build a first pylon. He made one probe, sent it across the map, built a pylon, and then surrounded it in 4 gateways so the pylon couldn't die, and had like 4 zealots in the Zerg's base by like 2 minutes. It was nuts.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I want to see more of that stuff.
It's not even warp gate attack. Was it regular? Did he get warp gate?
No. It was like a cheese. He only built a pylon in the Zerg space.
Okay.
And it was crazy. I was like, you can do that? Have 4 zealots out by 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Like a complete all in, and Alpha Star held it with its like crazy micro or whatever. But like on ladder, I want to give that a go.
Did Alpha Star make any spines or just queens and lings?
I think it was just queens and lings, I want to say.
Jeez, okay. Yeah, that would kill like every platinum player in existence, I think.
Alright, Widowmine drop for Clem once again. Notably, he didn't go for a bunker to slow down Goblin. And we'll see how Goblin is able to keep it together this game. Whether he can maybe run a bit of a tighter ship against what Clem's doing and just... I don't know, maybe have like more crisp timings or whatever or something. Really get his +1 maybe a little bit sooner.
Always nice to get those upgrades sooner.
Random Widowmine for Clem.
Preparing for Oracle, I would guess. Although, it's not Oracle, so...
No. I don't think we see as many Oracles. There we go, the random Widowmine waltz into the natural base of the Protoss player. Does Goblin expect this? Oh no, no.
Oh. That worked! Oh my gosh, that worked!
Goblin right now is just... I hate Terran. I hate Terran so much.
I'm sure he is. Wow! Who needs Widowmine drops? I just walked mine right in the front door. Yeah, right past the Adept.
The random Widowmine waltz. Clem is just like...
That was hilarious.
So good. And now he's got a whack load of bio behind this. Like, a ton of bio.
That's a scary number. I mean, it's 34 to 16 army supply, so yeah. It's a good number.
Goblin, notably, has also skipped his +1 again this game.
That has to be intentional. He has to just be feeling like...
But why is kind of the curious part. Does he just want to have, like, a ton of gateway units out or something? But... +1's not that expensive for how much value it gives.
So much value, especially for the Zealots. It's really
all the value.
Yeah.
So third base is being resaturated for Goblin, just pumping up those numbers. He's poking around a little bit with his Blink Stalkers. Going to try and catch Clem's main base off guard a little bit here with these Stalkers. Try and start snowballing the reinforcements, perhaps, which is a possibility here if these Stalkers can pull this off. SCVs are being pulled against the Stalkers, but there's simply so much Terran bio crossing the map towards that third base right now.
As they say, never base race a Terran. So you better be prepared to defend against that.
Oh man, this is a lot of Terran right now. Can Goblin save this? I don't know. He recalls probably the Stalkers coming home. Charge isn't done yet though. Widowmine's connecting with the Zealots and Goblin's army just melted.
That's your GG. Yep. Okay,
boy.
Quick 2-0 there from Clem. Looking real strong today. Ate his Wheaties this morning. Yeah, in a matchup, a lot of people consider Protoss favored, so Clem's sort of killing it today. 6 minute, pretty much the same thing as last time. Marine Marauder, Medevac with move across the map, dodge force fields, make sure those Widowmines get connections, and that's what happened in both Games 1 and Game 2. And that's all she wrote. We're
That
going to
is
get
all
into
she
map
wrote.
number 3 here real quick. It is World of Sleepers.
Also, 200 of you guys out to watch this Afreeca World, which is
Nice.
great. Thanks so much. You guys must have missed it a little bit, as I did too.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, LaughNgamez.
It does indeed.
You ever see any of these old, I want to say it's Disney, but this whole World of Tomorrow stuff?
I know exactly what voice you're trying to do with that.
Good, because every time I cast a World of Sleepers game, that's exactly what comes to mind.
Goblin rocking the Rotterdam portrait as we load on into World of Sleepers, and here we are. Now, this man in the top right-hand side of the map, he's Clem. He's up 2-0.
And in the bottom left, he's a guy. His name is Goblin.
He is a guy. His name is Goblin. These are true facts.
He likes Rotterdam.
He does like Rotterdam, and Rotterdam likes Goblin.
Oh, good. It's nice to know it's mutual.
Gateway going on up there. Notably in his base, I guess. Although Goblin hasn't cheesed at all yet. Which is not very Goblin.
It's a little strange. But, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What he's doing is totally working, so...
Oh, I meant Goblin.
Oh, yeah. Goblin hasn't cheesed. Yeah, that's true. If you're down 2-0, might not be a bad time to do something like what he's doing now. Because that probe is up to no good. Hold on. Probe aborted course. There we go.
Probe up to no good. Started making trouble in Clem's neighborhood. Cybercore on the way. Now, what sort of cheese are we gonna see, you think?
Proxy Stargate. That's my call.
You know, I think that's a pretty good call.
Oracle shows up sooner than you expect it. Bad stuff happens. Yeah, so much of StarCraft comes down to these little timings where you know when the Oracle's going to show up, right? If it's going to be an Oracle, and you build your stuff accordingly, but if it shows up 30 seconds sooner, you're going to lose 5 or 6 dudes.
Okay, Goblin.
Never mind.
I was wondering what he was banking up so much money for.
Yeah.
And that's because
not
he's
just
building
late on
2
this.
tech structures. And he's running a zealot across the map, followed up by a stalker.
The SCV sees this.
Well, he sees the lack of something. He doesn't really know what
Well, he knows
crazy shenanigans Goblin's going for.
That's true, but he knows the zealot is coming across. So at the very least, he's going to prepare for something at the front door.
Yeah, bunker on the
There
way
you go,
for Clem.
bunker up. Bunker up, factory finishing up here, double gas just about done. And a Dark Shrine.
Oh.
So Warp Prism Dark Shrine shenanigans?
Yeah, is it going to be like a Warp Prism to poke or something at first with gateway units?
Excuse me, very possible.
Because it does take a fair bit of time for this Dark Shrine to finish up. Okay, Probe is hanging out. The Reaper is looking for this. Clem is, right now, he's in full-blown panic mode. Of like, something's wrong, I can feel it.
This is such a great hiding place. That's really good.
Okay, Adept gonna run into the Reaper. And Clem's gonna be like, okay, so Reaper's there, but I don't know where anything else is.
Yeah, this isn't too strange.
This is actually
honestly.
nuts how he hasn't spotted this yet.
Yeah, that's a great hiding spot.
A Nexus is now on the way for Goblin as a follow-up to this.
So Dark Shrine just about done. Like you said, it's a long build time, but it is just about here. This has got to be DTs.
Yeah, Clem has
Engineering
an
Bay
eBay on
just
the way,
about
though.
done.
Okay, the Dark Shrine is done. The eBay is about to finish up, but no turret started yet. How quickly does this warping happen from Goblin?
Pretty fast.
Oh, man. How much energy does Clem have? Looks like he has enough for one scan, but DT's going in multiple locations. Goblin's hitting Clem right now. There is Stalkers and Zealots and an Adept in the mix too, while the DTs caused havoc in the main base. A turret is building, but a DT's already there to make the execution. And
there's
the
your
one
scan.
Yeah, that's the one scan that's been burned now.
But it doesn't help you in the main base.
No, it does not. Prism gonna be getting evacuated here. DT gonna finish or attack that tank. Doesn't actually get it, but then the DT moves towards the natural. Does Goblin micro it? The answer is not
Got
really.
the tank. Got the tank. Getting Marines here. Ooh. Yeah, turret vision was there for just a second. DT got right out of there, though.
Yeah, Clem's really being messed up here, though, in the sense that he's losing so many units, so much mining time. He's having to do the bit of the turret walk, but the SCV building that turret dies. Oh, man.
Yeah, 10 SCVs down here so far in the aggression. Not bad. And Dark Templar does get taken down. Nice scan and burned down there. So it's 28 to 21 workers. Goblin has a nice economic area on the 2 bases as well, not just stuck on 1.
Yeah.
Like you might expect. Clem isn't actually mining off of 2 bases right now, which is a huge problem.
He's afraid to send his SCVs back to his main because he doesn't have a turret or anything there yet.
There aren't any DTs, but he doesn't know that.
No, Goblin, I was about to say, Goblin could have another DT in there, but he just doesn't even. Clem respects it like that, and oh, look at this. This is Goblin right here. He's coming in with an Archon in the Prism. Gonna unload it on top of these Marines, and Archons are pretty darn good versus Marines. Surprise, Clem.
Pretty good, but not that good.
There was a tank there to help out. There was a Cyclone that popped out.
Yeah.
Pretty good, but not that good. But then Clem can't counterattack because there's DTs out.
Sure he can. He's got scans.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot of scans to get yourself across the map. If Goblin just warps in one after another, there we go. Another DT heading towards this army. Alright, there's scan number 2 gone. Is there going to be another DT warping in here for Goblin soon? There should be. Clem has built up energy for another scan, though. And there hasn't been another DT warped in yet, which is a little bit concerning here.
Yeah, suddenly a big scary Terran army shows up.
An immortal, though. Oh,
nice surround. Tank gets taken out, which is great. And this bio is not long for this world. So nicely done by Goblin on the defend there. That looked pretty scary, but in the end,
yeah, wow. I didn't know he was going to be able to muster up enough of an army to stop that physically. I thought he'd have had to just use the DTs, but no, with the Prism, the Immortal, and the Archon unloading there, he cleans that up easy peasy.
Yeah, the Immortal especially worth its weight in gold in that situation. So Goblin not done yet. Gonna keep pushing on Clem, who only has 33 workers of the 44 that Goblin has. Goblin's taking a 3rd base behind this.
Oh, he is, but he doesn't plan on macroing, it would seem.
If he has to.
Loaded up into that Prism. The bunker is going to be under fire. That is probably going to be getting cracked pretty quick, and I think Goblin is going to be putting this one on the board.
Widowmine does get a shot off on something. No.
Oh, the Prism micro from Goblin. He does lose one of the Immortals, but he's killed off 11 SCVs. He's forced Clem basically off his natural here. And this is a tough spot for the Terran player right now.
Clem is dead. You can't be 1 base versus a 2 basing, almost a 3 basing Protoss here. He's pulling back home like he can do this, but yeah, he's coming down the ramp. He's bringing the SCVs. Nice Widowmine hit, but the Archon is tearing through this bio.
Goes down.
Nice Immortal pickup. Army supply 26 to 7.
Clem is toast.
He's toast. He has his main base, but that doesn't really matter, it turns out.
GG Goblin stays alive.
That's what we're talking about. You go down 2-0 against this Clem. Let's pull out some shenanigans. See how he responds to that.
That is Goblin right there. That is what I wanted to see.
In a nutshell. The Goblin. Oh, nice job by him. Really love that early attack. 4 minutes and 7 seconds that's happening. Terran players, can you imagine DTs and Stalkers and Zealots coming into your main base at 4 minutes?
I can, and it's not good.
It's not good. So next game is on Simulacrum here, the latter edition.
Simulacrum, not to be mistaken with Somnicron.
No, definitely not Somnicron, although similar sounding.
Alright, we'll make sure everyone's ready, then we'll get into the next game. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning into this Afreeca world. Once these games have got going, they're pretty darn good here. And away we go to map number 4.
Do people hate Simulacrum LaughNgamez? Haven't heard much hate.
I haven't had enough time to ladder to know if I personally hate it. I know there's one map that I hate on principle because it's just way too hard to see anything on.
Right.
It's just so, like, yeah, it's just so hard. There was even a Reddit post the other day about that, and I was like, yes, it's not just me.
Yeah, the community hates dark maps for sure.
All right, here we are in the top left-hand side of the map. It's Clem.
And in the bottom right, you're not dead yet. He's Goblin. Mitsawolf says, can you imagine an SCV rush that takes you out in 30 seconds? Yes.
Oh, boy.
I've died to one of those.
Yeah. I think everyone has when they first started playing StarCraft. You're like, well, I don't know what to do against this.
SCVs are good fighters, it turns out.
They are.
That's for balance purposes, though.
That is. I do not play enough at the minute to have like a completely opinionated opinion about balance or maps. So I'm just enjoying StarCraft for the minute.
Uh-huh. I mean, basically, it just goes back to Brood War days, where drones heal up, probes heal up, but SCVs don't. So they were given more HP, a little bit better of an attack, a little bit of a faster attack to compensate.
Are Brood War SCVs attack better?
Uh-huh, a little bit.
Oh.
A little bit of a faster attack.
Can we get that in StarCraft 2, please?
I don't see why not.
Oh, Goblin, you dog.
Let's do this. Same thing.
You
Same
sly
thing would
dog.
be gutsy.
It could be. That would be super gutsy. Particularly the position he picked this time. Like, this is as in your face as a proxy gets. Is it going to be another gateway, maybe? No, he's banking up resources. Oh, man, Goblin. Is he going to change it up? Or is he going to do the same crazy cheese? Either way, this is going to be very in your face for Clem. Oh, boy.
Whoa, double robo. What is this?
This is Goblin, and it's been spotted, too.
Oh, quick scout this time.
Oh, and right now Clem is like, oh my god. This is not what I signed up for today. As these pylons are being worked on by the Reaper, a Marine and an SCV on the way. Is this just gonna get shut down?
I mean, if you get scouted this early, I really don't see how
a shield
this
battery is starting. Is he gonna throw up another pylon too? Yes, he does.
But I don't know, man. This seems like doubling
Immortals
down.
are good though, and he's gonna be able to make 2 in just a second here probably, or he should be able to.
Zealot messing with this bunker
There's one
construction
immortal on the way.
There are multiple SCVs here for repairing purposes.
Yeah, the shield battery, the next target under fire, another immortal being chrono boosted out, but I don't know if Clem's going to be able to shut these down. An immortal is about to pop out here. And once there's 2 immortals, they can start dancing around the bunker. I don't know. This is actually going to be so close here from Goblin, the mad lad.
There we go.
There's one immortal out. SCVs are the first target. Goblin knows he needs to get the SCVs so he can shut down this bunker and protect his production, but with 2 immortals now out, can he crack this?
It's so much harder here for Goblin without the shield battery, though. The shield battery is really key to this.
Yeah, but he broke the bunker. Clem's on the retreat.
These immortals are pretty injured, though.
Yeah, but they're going to get their hardened shield back in just a second. They're already regenning shields. Clem has already committed a lot to try and shut this down. Now a prism's out. These immortals should in theory never die.
Tank. Huge, though.
Goblin with the mad micro here with this prism. Now going to be on the offense once more. Looking to pressure into Clem, but I mean, Clem can't really catch these guys.
True, but he's looking all right. The Marines are really scary for the War Prism. The tank setup is really good against the immortals. Especially if they're already bruised. Scary
though. There's already another immortal out. Like the army supply. is 25 to 18, and Goblin has Immortals. I think Immortals beat just like tanks and non-stimmed Marines. We'll see. Can he crack his opponent though?
Yeah, taking down a refinery pretty fast. Not a bad play here at all. Just tanks and Marines is all Clem needs, and that's all he's building at this stage. Getting a bunker up. He's like, you want to stay out there? By all means, you do that, guy.
Observer gets scanned by Clem. Nicely done.
Like that tank positioning too. Hard to approach it.
Oh, this Prism's got to be careful. Yeah.
Robotics Bay on the way from Goblin.
Oh, is he going to go into Disruptors or something?
Like one base.
Oh, he's going to unload Immortals on top of the tanks. He gets what? No, but
lost an Immortal.
Oh.
Ooh.
What a risky
that
play.
Was fair. Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah. That was the full HP Immortal originally, too, that got picked off.
Oh, bad choice.
Yes, that does hurt. He has another Immortal out. Another 2 Immortals out, as a matter of fact, so he still has units.
Clem just pumping Marines at this stage.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. All of these units are gonna be getting forced out of the main base. Goblin just looking to push anywhere, and he is building Disruptors now.
And he is expanding back home too, which I really like.
Oh, Goblin. This is what I wanted to see. Okay, Immortals in the Prism once more. Looking for any potential pickoffs they can get, whether it's Marines, whether it's SCVs. Right now, they are skirmishing with these Marines, and they're injuring them a fair bit. Picks off a couple for free. Clem has had enough, though. He's got a Viking out. He's got a good number of Marines, and with the Viking out, the Prism is going to be on a timer here. Oh, Disruptor! Immortals attacking the army that Clem moved out with. Clem moved out a little bit prematurely, and he is getting smacked hard for it. Loses 2 of his tanks. And oh man, this is suddenly all very scary as these Immortals are pushing on up. SCVs have to be pulled. The 2 more Immortals are popping up in the Prism here. Clem lost a big chunk of his army. Stalker is getting warped on in here for Goblin to dissuade these Vikings just from hanging around. Disruptor's moving on in. Gets shot by a tank. Does hit one of the tanks though. Gonna go for a repeat of that last trick. He goes for it, hits the tank, but almost hits the tank, but loses the Disruptor. Tanks versus Disruptors. Bit of a wonky situation. Clem moving out with a drop here, heading towards Goblin's Natural, which is saturated at this point. Probably going to force a recall of an Immortal or something if I had to guess to deal with this. None of that just yet for Goblin. He's got a couple of Stalkers back at home. Not enough to stand up versus the Marines, so a recall gets used. A little bit late, though, dare I say. I mean...
What is... Clem just like, oh, sure, I'll take some of your probes.
Yeah, why not, eh?
A lot of lost mining time here, too. I think he needs to do this, though. He can't be dealing with a 2-base Protoss as a 1-base himself.
No,
he's trying to land here, but every time he looks at it, he's like, oh, more Disruptors, cool.
Yeah, he's still on 1 base, and while tanks do, in theory, outrange Disruptors, it's very tough to make it work. Like, it usually goes either way. So it's tough to make happen. This tank moving to the low ground is a little bit risky for it. Does get covered by the others, though, so Clem's slowly trying to retake his natural. But, I mean, we take a look here. Charge is on the way. So Clem's trying to hinder Goblin. This drop once more. Ooh. A lot of probes going down.
Yeah, man, Clem really wants a natural, and it's just not being allowed.
No. Clem says, can I have a natural? Goblin says, no. Hard no. Tanks shooting away on these disruptors. The command center quickly regrets landing while the drop continues on. My gosh, what a game here. Oh, Goblin goes for it, but Stim is done, so this seems a little bit risky going in for the attack. He's got the disruptors, a whack load of them at that. Hitting some of the Marines. He needs more Novas going out, though.
Warp Prism.
Is there enough?
Nice.
I don't know. They're kind of missing.
That was a beautiful split from Clem.
Goodbye, really capitalizing on Goblin's misstep, and he might have just won the game there, I feel.
Armor supply pretty even. Goblin's natural is looking pretty good, too. The group might have just kind of reset, although that's a lot of tech that Goblin's going to lose here.
Yeah, losing both of his robos definitely hurts. There's so many tanks here for Clem. Goblin, though, isn't going to just sit back. He's moving out on the army. He has charge. He's heading towards Blink. There's a chance that Clem overcommits. I mean, we take a look. The Vikings are injured. There's an injured tank there as well. The Marines don't have combat shield. So this is a rather squishy army that Clem has here. Goblin's on the retreat right now. Does get a medivac too, which is nice. That Stalker giving it his all. But look at this. Clem split up. Goblin's diving on top of this.
Tank getting focused down. Does get taken out before it gets saved.
Yeah, the Terran player is full on retreat. These are the new speedy charge lots.
So fast. They will catch up to your tanks. Thank you for asking.
Look at this. Clem's going for a panic wall.
It's a very flimsy looking wall there, Clem.
Let me in, says Goblin. He's even got a sentry into this army, which is a really nice touch.
2 medevacs. Wall, goodbye.
Yeah. This is scary.
This is a lot of charge lots for Goblin. Wow.
Oh boy. 18 charge lots. With the Immortals working on the command center, Clem has to step out to try and save this.
Wow.
Immortals are getting picked off. Goblin waited a while, but gets beautiful force fields off on the army of Clem.
This is so touch and go right now. Army supply huge for Goblin, though.
The command center might even go down. That needs to be repaired.
Yeah, it is being repaired, but... Okay, I think it's...
Okay, fight's happening. Goblin's
tank focus down. Oh, that might be it, honestly. Losing that tank. A lot of SCVs getting killed here. More reinforcements coming in. Every minute these SCVs have to repair is time they're not mining.
I just don't even know. This is just such a wonky game here. Such a scrappy match between these players.
I'm gonna put my money on Goblin here.
Yeah, I mean, Clem's holding on, though.
Clinging
to life, just barely.
Yes.
I think a big part is that Goblin has to warp his units in back at home and run them across the map now. Clem trying to consolidate a little bit here. Both players pretty darn broke. 23 SCVs to 28 probes. Even the natural really being mined a lot here by Clem, but this is now or never as Goblin blinks in. He picks off one of the tanks. All the tanks are gone for that matter. Medivac's the next target. Clem with his stim units though, looking to push on out, but he's losing the Medivacs in droves.
That's so big. You can't lose those Medivacs.
Yeah, I think you may be right. Goblin looking pretty good now. Blink Stalkers are actually okay versus Bio in smaller numbers. When it's the big armies, they're not too good. But right now, Goblin can make plays here. As more units stream across the map to reinforce.
They're so fast getting there, too.
They are. Who needs a pylon or anything to warp in when you can just run them across the map?
Just sprinting across the map, full out. 4-minute mile.
Alright, in goes Goblin once more. Clem's under fire. Guardian Shield gets activated, but the Zealot buffer has gone, so the Protoss player retreating once more until these other Zealots get on in here.
Just every time Clem has to pull all the boys to defend, it puts Goblin further ahead.
Yeah,
he just keeps losing mining time. Losing SCVs, 28 to 22 workers. Mules are good for Clem and can compensate for that a little bit, but army supply keeps creeping up there for Goblin.
Yes, it does. The Stalkers looking for anything they can get. More Zealots and Sentries being warped in. Probably going to try and lock this army so the Zealots can get face value at these Marines. In goes the Protoss player once more. The tank on the high ground. Doing the work there. Keeping this Protoss army at bay. Force field goes down. Doesn't do too much there. But this command center under fire big time. Goblin's trying to bait the Terran out of his hole here.
Goblin is happy just to do damage to the command center because that's lost resources on 2 ways here for Clem.
Yeah, Clem has had to spend a lot of money repairing this.
And SCVs aren't returning minerals.
Force fields catch a decent number of Marines.
Fields, medevac. Ooh.
The tank.
That medevac is low.
The tank's doing work with their shots there. Goblin wants to go for it once more. He just says, alright, now, as he charges on in, the tank gets focused down. Zealots connecting with the Marines. SCVs have been pulled once more. Clem's army is looking to dissipate a bit, but then all of a sudden, Goblin left with nothing really but this Immortal, and Clem repels once more. Oh my gosh.
Loses 7 SCVs. Goblin loses a ton of Zealots.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of feels like a Zerg player just going in with huge numbers of lings over and over again.
Try and try again, says Goblin, as he's still hitting Clem with everything that he's got. Goblin is even long-distance mining now because his main is mined out. And even his natural's starting to run out of money here. More Zealots being warped on in, but Goblin hasn't succeeded yet. I don't know when he is going to succeed versus this army. The stimmed bio and tank composition working wonders for Clem. Stalkers trying to poke, trying to get any little bit of value that they can. And they're doing an alright job softening up some of these Marines. Fancy,
this is the most sustained PvT pressure I've ever seen.
It's just been one long battle this game. This is starting to look a little better for Clem, though, I feel. His +1 attack did just finish up. Although Goblin with a whackload of charge lots is thinking, alright, this could be my moment, now or never. And he's waiting for one more warp, and if I had to guess before he moves on in, he's got the Stalkers still just looking to poke and prod. They are going to retreat. Sentry's now in the mix, looking to get some good force fields off potentially. When does he pull the trigger? I feel like this could be the final fight.
Yeah, that +1 attack that Clem's rolling with is pretty fantastic here. He's working on +1 armor too for his infantry. Got Widow Mines in the mix, which he hasn't had before. Really good against these Zealots, as always.
Friendly fire potential, though, could be a factor, too. We'll see. I think when the engagement happens, it's going to be fast and hot. Goblin's looking to poke in with the Stalkers once again. When does he take the big fight, though? Because he has to.
Zealots in the front.
Yeah, Stalkers.
Stalkers in the front, for some reason. Why?
He just moves in, blinks out. Alright. Oh, Goblin getting baited a little bit. What a game. Alright, some force fields go down, but I don't know if this is the fight Goblin was looking for.
No,
he realizes that too.
Just picked off a few Marines. Just got some free damage there.
More Zealots warping on in for Goblin. Terran scales better than just charge lots, though, so Goblin has to go for this sooner rather than later, and he's electing to go now. His Stalkers blink forward, the Liberator is gone, Sentries popping Guardian Shields, maybe some Force Fields too, but yeah, it's just not enough. Clem takes the 3-1 over Goblin in what was a nuts last game.
Sustained pressure. That was a proxy that just lasted for about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. That game was 19 minutes and 29 seconds. StarCraft is wonderful. And that was just our first series in Afreeca World, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be getting on into the next game pretty darn soon here. That's going to be Mana versus Bly, a best of 5.
Insane.
Yeah.
Now we get Bly. Oh, I'm so excited for this one, too.
More craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to throw to a quick break. We'll get the players in. We'll do our vetoes and everything. And, yeah, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning on in. See you in a few.
Bye.